All right, last 1 minute. Then we'll go through the answer. Last 20 seconds. Last 10 seconds. Right. We thank congrats to Jesse, Quack, then David. So thank you all for participating. Let us look at all these questions now. All right. So let me just go back to the. Okay, question number 1. We have this little pictures here. The question asks, organism, organism what? Oh, yeah. Hi, Luna. You got any question for me? Nope. All right, let's move on. Okay, so organism Y is not a plant because it does not make its own food. As you can see on the picture, there is no sign of leaves. And there's no leaves means it can't make its own food. All right. Question 2. This animal is not an insect because it does not have 6 legs. As we learned from previous lesson, insects have 6 legs, but this creature is a spider. Spider have 8 legs, hence is not an insect. All right. Okay, question 3. This plant is a flowering plant because it has fruits and flower. The fruit is here, flower is here. All right. Okay. Question 4. The objects are categorized according to the characteristic. Look at the picture here. The picture shows that they are basically categorized according to their shapes. Square one side, triangle one side, circle one side. All right. Question 5. The objects are categorized according to the characteristic of colors because we have gray, black, and white. Question 6. Sam touched the millipedes and the millipedes curl into a ball. This shows that living things respond to changes. So you can see that the millipede from one straight line become a curl to protect itself from danger. All right. Question 7. This image shows that all living things actually can grow from a baby to a young child. Question 8. The plant grew towards sunlight. This shows that living things can respond to changes. So I have this enclosed area with a small opening here. The sun is here. The plant will eventually tilt itself towards the opening to get more sunlight to make its own food. Question 9. Same as previous questions. From a tadpole to the frog, it shows that it can grow. So also the snail curl up when touched. It shows that living thing responds to changes. I won't say it's curl up, but I will say that is the snail hide inside the shell. So the question is a bit wrong. The snail actually hide in the inside the shell to respond to changes. All right. I had 2 birds. One day it becomes 6 birds. This shows that living things can reproduce from big parent bird to young baby birds. The butterfly died after some time. This shows that living things need air to survive because this is an airtight container. If the air inside use finish, outside air cannot go inside. When there's no air, living things will die. All right. Look at these two animals here. Frogs. All these animals have moist skin because they are amphibians and they live in land and water. The animal here all have feathers as their outer covering. And for animal here, all the animal here in the pictures. All right. So they use their tails to move. They have fin to change direction. All right. They have scales and breathe through gills. All right. The animal here are basically mammals. Mammals feed their young with milk covered with fur or hair. All right. These animals, tortoise, all these animals here have dry, scaly skins. All right. I shall pause for a while and start today's lesson because it's time's up already. All right. So give me a while. Let me just open the slides. All right. Okay, let's start the lesson in proper. Later, we will go back to the booklet again. But without further ado, let me just start this lesson as it's already 8:30 in Vietnam. All right, so today we are on chapter 4, fungi and bacteria. All right. So, what is microorganism? All right. Microorganism are teeny tiny living things. They are so small, you can't see them without a special tool called a microscope. Today's lesson, we are going to embark on an exciting journey into the microorganism world, where we will look at two incredible groups, fungi and bacteria. These tiny creatures might be small, but they hold a big secret. This secret is the secret of life. So without further ado, let's dive in. So picture this in your mind, all right? The world of microorganism is so tiny that you need this special tool here called a microscope. Well, that's exactly where we are heading today. We are going to learn about all these microorganisms. As you can see on the picture here, when you use the microscope to see them, you will get to see all these creatures swimming around the fluid on the microscope. All right. So now let's start with the first group of microorganisms. All right. Fungi are the first group we're going to look into. Fungi are nature's superhero of recycling. So they basically help nature to recycle. Just like how we recycle paper, plastic, and cans to save the earth, fungi recycle old and decaying things in nature. Leaves from fallen leaves from trees and old logs have become their playground. What fungi do basically, they break down old leaves and trees and other things, and they turn them into a rich and healthy soil to be used as fertilizers for the future. All right, next up, let's meet the fungi. Well, fungi have some pretty cool characteristics. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Some look like they are from the fairy tales. Just imagine all those mushrooms as tiny umbrellas. They grew by, they basically reproduce by spores. All right. So fungi are not a plant, not plants. They are not plants because they cannot make their own food. They don't make their own food from the sun, but they need food to grow. So fungi can look like mushroom, mold, or even yeast. All right. Next up, fungi are excellent explorer. All right. They can live in many different places. All right. You can spot them in the forest, where they will make the floor a cozy place for the plants to grow. They are in your garden, turning the soil into a plant paradise. And don't be surprised to find them in your kitchens. They help the bread. Some are even bold enough to live in a deep darkness cave. All right. So basically all these places, forests, gardens, kitchens, and dark caves are some of the example of places where fungi make them their home. So let's meet some famous fungi. All right, we have the mushrooms and the yeast. Well, you see all sort of mushrooms come in different shapes and sizes in the forest. Some we can eat, some we cannot eat. All right. Then we have yeast, where this tiny fungi helps to make bread rise and create yummy flavor in the things such like pizza dough. All right. So, as mentioned earlier, where does fungi get its food? Since fungi cannot make their own food, there are three types of channels that fungi can make their food. Number one is from the dead living things. Number two is from living organism. Number three is working with others. All right. After you look at fungi, the next thing we're going to look at is bacteria. So time to switch to bacteria. Bacteria are tiny helpers. Some bacteria are helpful, some are not helpful. All right. They work all around us, doing important job. Some are even in our own body. Just think of them as the nature little cleaners and builders. All right. We have fungi, they're helping the nature to recycle. We have bacteria helping the nature to clean and build something. So some key characteristics of bacteria, well, they are small size. Fungi, we still can see some, like mushroom. But bacteria, unfortunately, we cannot see bacteria through our eye. We need microscope to see it, all right? Because they are so small that we cannot see. And every bacteria have their own shape. They come in different shape, like tiny balls, or long like hot dogs, or even twist like spirals, like some example here. Next up. So, where do we find bacteria? All right. Well, they are also explorer of the microscopic world. You can find them in the soil, helping the plants grow and keeping the earth healthy. They also live in our mouth. And some help with the important job of breaking down the food. But guess what? They are not only limited to soil and mouth. They are actually everywhere, even in the air or in water. So later when you are free, you can look inside the mirror, open your mouth wide in the mirror, and you can see that you even though you can't see, but you know that the amount of bacteria in your mouth is in billions. All right. So now we have two different types of bacteria. One is good bacteria, one is bad bacteria. All right. Imagine the bacteria are like superheroes with different costume. Some wear a thumbs up sign because they are good guys. They help to make yummy things like yogurts and cheese, and they keep our stomach happy. But however, there are also a bad bacteria with a stop sign. These are the bad guys because they are the ones this side that makes you sick, makes you want to vomit. So we have to be very careful with the bad bacteria over here. All right, next up. Do you also know that bacteria are secret chefs in our kitchens? They work their magic to make milk into creamy yogurts, which is not only delicious, but also good for our stomach. They also help to make cheese. So if you're a cheese lover, please remember to thank the bacteria because they work their magic to make cheese with all its different flavors and textures. So yogurt and cheese are the products of bacteria. All right. Some interesting fun fact. All right. Do you know that some mushrooms are as big as trees? It's like a mushroom skyscraper. And here's a fun fact. There are more bacteria in your mouth than there are people on Earth. Because they are so small, our mouth can hold more bacteria than are more humans on Earth. Next up, some bacteria have superpowers. They can live in places as hot as the boiling water and as cold as Antarctica. All right. Lastly, fungi and bacteria are amazing recyclers. They help turn old stuff into new soil and make the earth happy. So now I'm going to spend some time to explain about the homework they're going to give you for this week. It's going to be quite fun because I'm going to ask you all to go to all the supermarket or the stores near your house. So for this exciting homework assignment, you'll be turning your visit to the supermarket or market into a fungi exploration adventure. Get ready to learn more about mushroom, a type of fungi, while you shop with your family. All right. When you are at a supermarket or market, head over to the produce section. This is where you find a variety of mushroom. Carefully examine the different type of mushroom available. Look at their shape, size, colors, and any unique features. Jot down the name of the mushroom you see and write down what you observe. Like for example, you can write that they look like umbrella, or do they have smooth or bumpy cap. Choose one type of mushroom that you find it particularly interesting or tasty looking. When you go back home, look up the mushroom you choose online or in a book and find out how we cook. Share in a video around 3 to 5 minutes describing the mushroom you've chosen, the color, the texture, and many more. And is it commonly used in dishes? And how does it taste like? Upload to palette once you are done. All right. Without further ado, let me end the presentation and we go to the booklet for today's lesson. So let me just log into the booklet first. We will look into today's lesson. All right, so which game would you like to play? You can write in the chat and let me know. Which game would you like to play? Pirates. All right then. Okay, so let me just, all right. So, okay, thank you very much. So let me just go with pirates then. The timing to play is 50 minutes. All right. So pirate setting, allow all to join. So I will host now. Question we'll do later. Okay, I have sent the picture link already. I will send in the Zalo as well. Okay, you all can join in the booklet. Yes, Ben. Yes, Ben.
Hi, teacher.
Yes.
I just put the names here, but I see that like they tell that it is the name.
I couldn't answer.
I shall send the link again. All right, do join up. All right, thank you very much. So yes, Nathan.
Em gì đâu.
I
Phép thì cho chơi.
Yeah, I can't type my nickname in. I can't type my nickname.
I haven't started. Wait for me because
All right, no worries. I'll wait for you because we have
teacher,
yes.
Finished. I joined.
An error.
Teacher. I thought I would never join it.
Liên quan đến cái này mà.
No worries. No
Là cái
worries.
này chứ là cái gì? Này.
Okay.
Okay, so let's wait a while.
Wait for me, please.
I will start the game once I see there is a participant coming in. Okay, so I shall start the game in a once it reads 150. Or I believe there is no more joining, so I will just start the game now. This is a new game. I have not tried it before. Enjoy. All right, we have last 4 minutes, then we'll go back to the lesson. All right, last 10 minutes. Last 10 seconds, sorry. I believe that's it. Okay. All right, congrats to Bookie. All right. So let us go back to the lesson. Just now we have gone through the PowerPoint slide. Now let me show you what the textbook say. All right, so the textbook say that fungi, a fungus, plural fungi is not a plant because it don't have roots, don't have stem, there's no leaves. A fungus is unable to make its own food, and as it don't have chlorophyll to trap sunlight for photosynthesis. All right. So for this textbook wise, the most important thing you need to know is a fungi don't have a fungi is not a plant, as it does not have roots, stem, or leaves. A fungus a fungus cannot make its own food. All right. So these two are the things that you need to know. All right. So let me just try to find here. So these two sentences is the crucial sentence. Let me try to highlight them first. So a fungus is not a plant because it does not have stem, roots, or leaves. All right. Okay, number one here. Number two here is a fungus is unable to make its own food. So these are the 2 points that you can remember. All right, for fungi. All right. Some example of fungi are mushroom, toadstool, juice ears, mold, and yeast. Most fungi reproduce by spores, and they are found in the gills under the cap, as shown in the diagram below. So look at this little mushroom here. They have a stalk, cap, and gills. The spores are found here. This part here. All right. Let me just give you. Let me write down first. So this little part here is known as the. All right, the spores, where the spores was found. All right, next up. Most fungi grow best in moist and warm areas. So the keywords here, students, the keywords here is moist and warm. All right, so most fungi grow best in moist and warm area. As fungi are unable to move freely from place to place, they are fixed. They are fixed in position, so they cannot move. Most fungi are like mushroom. Once you're from there, they cannot move at all. All right. There are some microscopic fungi such as yeast and mold. Yeast and mold are too small to be seen by naked eye. So this is a key. So this is a point to remember. They are too small to be seen as naked eye. Fungi are also a type of decomposer. All right. So fungi is a type of decomposers. All right. Whatever I underline are all the keywords that you should know for this lesson. All right. They obtain the food by breaking down dead organism into simple substance through decomposition. All right. Next up. So some fungi are edible, such as the button mushroom, juice ears. All right. While others are not edible because they are poison. All right. So we have edible and non-edible pictures. Next up, we move on. Bacteria. Bacteria is a microorganism. They are too small to be seen with naked eye. So you need a microscope. All right. Okay, yes, I saw some raised hands. Yes, Tommy,
Yes.
you raise hand. Any questions?
Yes. Can I say something, please?
Sure. Sure.
So there's something see with the naked eye, but I know there's something like the bacteria called nickname called pirate's eye or something that is pretty large bacteria.
So bacteria is called pirate's eye, is it? Okay, are they quite big, or sorry, I couldn't get you. So Tommy, you are saying that there is a bacteria known as pirate eye.
Like its nickname is pirate's eye, but I don't know actually its scientific name.
I see. Okay, I have to go and check out and let you know later, because this bacteria called parrot eye sounds interesting. So I will check out and let you know. Thanks a lot. Yes, Luna. So before I go on first, I'll answer your question first.
Can we grow bacteria?
Yeah, we can grow bacteria. I will share with you a video how to grow bacteria later in Zalo. Thank you very much. Yes, Ben. Ben from Hanoi. Ben, yes. Your questions?
So, can bacteria reproduce?
Bacteria can reproduce. All right.
Okay,
So
thank you.
thank you very much. So next, so okay, I shall carry on first. I'll answer the question later. Okay. So bacteria are microorganisms. They are too small to be seen with naked eye. So we need a microscope to observe them, how they live, how they work, etc. So because bacteria, most of them don't have chlorophyll, they are unable to make their own food. All right. Hence, they obtain food by breaking down dead organism into simple substance and absorb them. Some bacteria are good bacteria as they benefit our health, such as aiding in our digestion, whereas some are harmful because they cause us to fall sick. All right. Next up. So in conclusion, right, based on what we have learned today, we learned that fungi are not plants because they cannot make their own food. Fungi do not have roots, stem, or leaves. Fungi reproduce by spores. Sorry. Some fungi are edible, while some cannot be eaten. We learned that bacteria are too small to be seen with naked eye. Some are beneficial to us, while some are harmful. Both bacteria and fungi are decomposer. All right. That's all we learned today. So please remember to memorize this key pointer. I will send this PDF later as well, so that you can learn. All right. So I shall take some questions. Let me just from the ground. Okay. Hi, Diana.
Hi, I have a question, please.
Sure.
So, how do the bacteria like get nutrients from?
You asking whether bacteria can transform?
Means that where do the bacteria, I mean the fungi get the nutrients from?
Oh, you are trying to say where does bacteria get the nutrients from, right? Or in simple words is how do they eat? Am I right to say that? Well, bacteria basically they absorb nutrients from the environment. Can be anywhere in the air, in the water, or anything through the process called diffusion. So the nutrients will basically cross the bacterial cells membrane, and it will be absorbed into the bacteria for the bacteria to use as energy. I hope this answers your questions. Thank you very much. Maybe I have some more. Yes, Alex.
So can bacteria reproduce without us noticing? Teacher?
I think you should wait a bit. Something's wrong.
Joe,
Something was wrong.
where is
Yes, about most bacteria.
Wait, we need to build.
Hey, buddy.
Where is he?
In
Where
the
is
smoke.
he?
Lily, what is that for you?
I don't know. Here, what is the homework today?
Something is
Hey, hey, what are you doing?
I can
Why are you wearing shade, bro?
Yes. Andrew, why can't be treated like antibiotics?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes?
No, I can't.
No, I can't hear you. He was being
Teacher Andrew, can you answer the chat?
Teacher Andrew. Teacher.
I'm pretty sure
I wanna remove him,
not
please.
put us.
Is there something wrong? Are you really kidding us, Teacher Andrew?
Very
Is he removed away from this meeting? What happened?
Quiet,
I
please.
didn't realize that. I can't.
Yes, but why? Like,
Teacher, we can't hear you. We can't.
Okay, testing. Can you hear me now? All right. Okay, it's all can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
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 That's so.
Okay, let's all right, thank you very much. Okay, let's carry on. All right, finally. Okay. I'm sorry for the technical error. Just now, apparently someone put me as interpreter, so I can't talk at all. So good that everything is now back to normal. So let's carry on with the conclusions before we go to homework. Okay, so in conclusion, right, we learned that fungi are not plants. They are not plants because they cannot make their own food. Fungi also do not have roots, stem, leaves, and fungi reproduce by spores. Some can eat, some we cannot eat. Bacteria are too small to be seen by the naked eye, so we need a microscope to see them. Some bacteria are good, some are bad, all right? But both fungi and bacteria are decomposers. They obtain food by breaking down dead organism into simple substance through decomposition and absorb the simple substance as food. All right, without further ado, let me go back to the slides to show you the homework that we're supposed to do for today's lesson. For today's lesson, in short, the homework is you have to go to the nearest market to find out what type of mushroom they sell. Then all the mushroom you see in the market, you choose one that you think is very interesting. For example, you can see that you can show me that this mushroom, the shape is very unique, or they do umbrellas, or they have smooth or bumpy cap. After you choose the mushroom, you bring home, you share with us in a video describing the mushroom you choose. What's the color, texture, how tall or how big, and what are some of the dishes that we can use to cook it with it, and how does it taste like? All right. This video should be 3 to 5 minutes, and please upload to Palette once you are done. All right. I will share this in the Zalo later as well. All right. So with that, I shall stop the sharing now. I will see you all next week. Okay. Any questions, you can let me know later. All right. Thank you very much. Goodbye.